Having been at Commonwealth a mere 15 years, I'm hardly in a position to speak about all Bill has done and accomplished in his 36 years at Commonwealth. But I can reflect a bit on what I know of Bill as my headmaster and colleague. To me, Commonwealth feels like a beloved home, and Bill has devoted much energy to making that so. The school has, I think, become a kinder, gentler version of its former self under Bill's watch, building on, among others, Kate Bluestein's early efforts as Director of Student Life. We've beefed up supports and now enjoy not just an in-house school psychologist, but also a full-time dean of students and an active student life team. But at least as important, Bill listened and reflected when brave alumni and students presented a petition that reminded us that not everyone has felt at home. In response to the petition and the urgent issues raised by recent events and the Black Lives Matter movement, Bill, in consultation and collaboration with many members of our community, has taken steps to ensure that we think about how and why that is the case, and work until everyone feels seen, known, and heard, and is comfortably engaged in the work and play of our community. We look forward to continuing this work together with our new head, Jennifer Borman, and our new full-time Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Lisa Palmero-McGrath. As I thought about what it has meant for Bill to do his job day in and day out, I made a list of verbs describing the things he's had to do at various times, often in the same day. It's a long list, so I'll share just a little bit of it. Teach, learn, inspire, discipline, supervise, delegate, orate, listen, preserve, revamp, innovate, strategize, ad lib, pivot, persist, consult, inform, and I couldn't resist adding herd cats. What hasn't Bill had to do? The trick, of course, is deciding when and how to act in myriad and often concurrent situations. Bill has recalled that when Charlie Chatfield, the headmaster who hired him as a teacher at Commonwealth, told him in 1989, that he, Charlie, would be stepping down, he asked Bill if he'd ever thought of running a school. It's fascinating, he told Bill. You never know what's going to come through the door on any given day. Bill can vouch that Charlie was right, I am sure. As Bill wrote in CM magazine, and I'm quoting, in addition to the surprises on most days, there are at least a half dozen balls one has to juggle. He added parenthetically, one or two generally fall to the ground. Characteristically modest, Bill has fine-tuned his juggling act mightily over the years. I have another more discursive list, this one of some of the characteristics Bill brings to the job, and others have mentioned these as well. Unflagging enthusiasm for and dedication to what we often like to call the enterprise. A pleasing balance of headmasterly gravitas. I think example of Bill's habit of sprinkling Greek and Latin words, quotations, and anecdotes into his talks. And playfulness. His willingness, say, to wear silly hats from a Secret Santa at recess. Nerdiness. Forgive me, Bill, but this comes from a fellow nerd, or we could call it deep intellectualism. Infectious enthusiasm for ideas and discussion. As Kate mentioned, Bill's an inveterate reader, and he cannot resist sharing what he's currently reading and thinking about, modeling the pleasures of the life of the mind for students, faculty, and staff alike. He also, as Kate mentioned, loves bringing in the weekly assembly speakers who generate such lively discussion and such thoughtful questions from our students. In a 2000 back-to-school letter, Bill invited students to share their thoughts about, quote, what sort of school Commonwealth is, what we must preserve, and what we should think about preserving. He has spent 36 years thinking about this earnestly and creatively. One of the things Bill has worked to preserve is the close relationship between our teachers and their students, and many have mentioned this already. He wrote in a 2007 issue of our magazine, what Plato said of orators, is true of teachers as well. Good ones have to know the souls of their listeners. Bill has done his best to keep classes small, students inspired, and teachers fresh. In 2001, he established the John Hughes Fund for Professional Development. Named for Commonwealth's first English teacher, the fund provides grants for faculty to pursue their intellectual passions. And in the last 20 years, 58 teachers have used Hughes grants to pursue 190 projects and to create 47 new classes. In honor of Bill's commitment to Commonwealth, the school is endowing the fund and renaming it the Hughes Fund for Teachers. Bill has overseen a number of significant projects that will leave an indelible mark. Among them, the beautiful renovation that reaffirmed our commitment to remaining in the city at 151 Com Ave. It maximized the space while updating labs and bringing the building into ADA compliance with wider elevators and an elevator. The new old space is terrific. I'll add, though, that as much as we love the old lady, that is our building, she can be finicky, even needy, and tending to and updating her has meant working with and around innumerable complexities and surprises. Another exciting addition, 2 summers ago, Commonwealth launched Dive In, a tuition-free academic enrichment program for motivated middle school students from families who wouldn't otherwise have access to such academic and extracurricular enrichment opportunities. The program is flourishing, and a number of Dive In alums are now members of the classes of 2024 and 2025. Bill has modeled how to maintain equanimity through some, shall I say, interesting times. School was in session during the 9/11 bombings, on his birthday, no less, when Bill's job became in minutes, keeping kids safe and calm while staying in touch with faculty and staff, trustees, parents, authorities, and the news. And this, his final year, when one would hope he could rest on his laurels, along came a global pandemic. While many schools buckled, limped along, made do, Bill, with determination and remarkable alacrity, rounded up a crackerjack consulting team comprising national experts in epidemiology to help us pivot and plan. And he secured the services that allowed us to establish virtual Commonwealth classrooms on Zoom, an elegant solution that made the complicated transition to online and then hybrid learning as smooth as I could possibly imagine. In a letter announcing his retirement, Bill wrote, "I count myself extraordinarily fortunate to have been a part of this extraordinary community for 36 years, 21 as headmaster." Well, Bill, we have been extraordinarily fortunate to work alongside you. And we thank you for your patient, thoughtful stewardship and guidance of our community. Charles Merrill's vision is alive and well, and our school stands situated to flourish in the future. I'll close with a quotation by the Greek statesman Pericles. "What you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others." Bill, your devoted service is woven into the very fabric of the school and lives on in your faculty, staff, students, and alumni. We wish you a well-earned, fulfilling retirement and every happiness.